Now, I'd like to look at different theories of religion. What is religion exactly? So many think it just involves belief in a supreme being, some old man in the sky like Zeus, or as some think of Jehovah as being this old man in the sky. But not all religions are structured that way, so let's take a look quickly at a number of theories of religion. Now first, we can start with a very basic, I think very useful one, and that is George Lindex's definition of religion as a primary worldview that dictates thoughts and actions. And so, borrowing from philosopher Wittgenstein's idea of religion as language games, so if you don't talk about Jesus and his stories, you're not part of the Christian game, he will say. So, a worldview seems like a great way to go for understanding religion, but there are other ways of understanding it. We may look at Mircea Eliade here, who discussed the sacred and the profane. We call his approach a phenomenological understanding of religion. And in this sense, we can say that religion is a phenomenon we can observe, and we can see from culture to culture the diverse expressions of very similar things. And we call this phenomenological approach substantive because it is indeed the substance of all religions, that they inhabit the sacred aspect of our consciousness. And this is true for individuals. We can make generalizations across masses of humans. However, it really occurs in the minds of individuals, what they value, what they will kill for, and what they believe and do based on their sense of the sacred. Such as a reverence for sacred mountains. We can think Mount Kailasa, Mount Tai in China, or Mount Zion in Jerusalem. General patterns characterize all religions. So Eliade understood the sacred as something distinct and set apart from the rest of the world, from our humdrum day-to-day existence. And so, for some then, the Green Bay Packers could be a religion. And I would say here in my home in Wisconsin, it's fair to say there are more Packerites than Lutherans or Catholics. Now, another way we can understand religion is from the standpoint of economics. Religions impact the economy, and we can see two diverse opposing views, and both correct. Karl Marx will tell us that religion is a means whereby the rich and powerful can funnel money from the peasants on up to the Pope or the Dalai Lama and the like. And certainly we see that as a definite, distinctive feature of religions on the planet. However, we can also see places where religion shakes up whole economies. We can think maybe most famously of Max Weber's thesis that Puritanism and its striving for demonstrating individual virtue over the old medieval Catholic grace, if you will, that came through the church, that through hard work one could demonstrate one's electedness to heaven by being rich. So that is why we celebrate here in America the Thanksgiving's Day. I call it Thanksstealing's Day because the Pilgrim Fathers are indeed the fathers of the nation. Now, we can also look at religion from the standpoint of psychology and yet again get two diverse yet true views of religion. For many, Sigmund Freud here is correct. Religion serves as a vehicle for infantile delusions. So for example, let's imagine I had a weak or lame father, and so I choose an ideal father in heaven to make up, to compensate for my lack of basic trust in a human father. The father I can imagine is, of course, everything I desire. The only thing more sad than that might be to paraphrase the old atheist bumper sticker, where theists are imaginary friends like God are stupid, is that not even having imaginary friends is possibly more stupid. Because how many of us feel a need to buttress our feelings of insecurity or our sorrow and depression with going beyond this world to a transcendent sacred realm, at least in our own consciousness, if not for real. Now, in psychology, though, we can't deny that Erik Erikson is also correct. The great shakers of human civilization, he studied in particular Martin Luther and Mahatma Gandhi. Two people taking their spirituality and applying it to reshape whole cultures through their attainment of ego integrity to the point that social whims did not cast them about in a sea of confusion. We can also see that religion and sociology go hand in hand as well. Emile Durkheim spoke of religion as a glue for whole societies. We can think how the Confucian Taoist Buddhist synthesis helped shape East Asian culture, or for that matter, of course, Christianity and European history and sociology go hand in hand. We have Christian democratic parties throughout Europe, and the flags of European nations have crosses on them, and we can see Buddhist circles in Asian flags as well. So he, along with Peter Berger, who spoke of religion as a social construction that makes for a sacred canopy, again, over vast millions of humans. If we look at maps of religion on the planet, we'll see Muslims are all grouped here, and Christians here, and over here are the Hindus and the Buddhists, and birds of the feather, they flock together. Now, from the perspective of anthropology, we can see that morality is no hard and firm thing either. Ruth Benedict discovered from studying cannibals in Southeast Asia that cannibalism is not only acceptable and tolerable, it's a downright good thing. A strange kind of barbecue, we might say. However, all our human ancestors practiced cannibalism. And so she realized from studying a variety of different tribes that, in fact, they all shared this similar practice that we in modern society find distasteful, abominable, and punishable even by death. Now, we can't ignore the role of gender studies in religion. I like to say, even though women were closed out in the 7,000 plus years of patriarchy and civilization, where brute strength for throwing spears and the like was the reason for power in a society, that we can unpack these things. And Mary Daly has noted that the religious agenda is often simply crooked men's agendas. And so these days we can unpack millennia of patriarchy and try and understand what religion may once have been with women, shamans, and the like. Of course, it was Karl Jaspers, the philosopher, who realized that the phases from the religions of ancient city-states shift to what he calls the Axial Age, with the appearance of Confucius, Socrates, and the Buddha in history. These are human beings who developed systems that apply really to everyone beyond tribal distinctions. So a pan-ethnic kind of ideology emerges in the Axial Age. And then Watsuji noted that also religions evolve in concert with climate. And so when we think about things like yoga, for example, in India, it is a product of monsoon culture. The culture whereby in the summer we can't go outside because of the storms and the like, and so we stay inside and put our body through all these strange contortions. We can contrast that with the German habit of winterizing or hibernation, where the polka dance is more likely to warm your blood. And this is something that Eliade discovered the shaman was a universal feature in all the tribes he studied. There's always in a society that religious person who heals the society, tells where the hunt may be, and of course performs funerals and initiation rituals. So every human is religious. It's built into our DNA, even our brains, and to the point that he defined the human being as Homo Religiosus, or religious us. That's what the homo means in this. The same. We are humans, and we can run from religion, but we can't hide.